That is exactly what I am talking about. What a way! What a way to bounce back! What a way to bounce back! You turn up in Europe. People, honestly, I can't explain to you the amount of times I've seen people be fearful of Freiburg coming into the Wolves game. But what a way to bounce back by being smashed in the Premier League and then turning up and finishing top of the group. West Ham have qualified for the round of 16, finishing top of the group, 15 points on top of Freiburg, Olympiacos, and TSC Topola. Back at Topola. West Ham qualify as the group winners of Group A, which is honestly such an achievement. I can't even believe I'm still saying things like that. Listen, I understand the frustrations with some of the West Ham fans, but this is not a time or the place to talk about them. This is the time or the place to talk about the achievement that we have got. 3 consecutive seasons in Europe qualifying as group winners. We got to a semi-final the first year. We got to the final and we beat Fiorentina, and now we're sitting top of this group and we qualify in for the round of 16. We move away from the round of 32. We don't have European football. We get the break. We concentrate now on all the domestic cups. We concentrate on the Premier League. It's a really big achievement. It's really, really big, and I'm absolutely, I'm over the moon about it. I really am over the moon about it. You can probably tell, but I really am. Listen, really good performances today. People will turn around and say, why don't we do what we do in Europe in the Premier League? And yeah, I agree with that. I don't know why we don't sometimes. I don't know why we don't turn up against teams like Crystal Palace and show that level of passion and that drive to go and achieve the ball, play from the front press, and be confident rather than playing so deep in our own half. But that's just what happens. Maybe the Fulham game was a freak incident. Maybe it was, but that's a great way to bounce back. A really good performance, all round team effort, but also individual efforts as well. James Ward-Prowse dominated the middle of the park. Tommy Soucek dominated the middle of the park. Paqueta had a very good game. Kudos was unplayable at times. He's so effective at the job that he is asked to do every single game. He gets heavily involved in every occasion. He's so hard to mark. He's absolutely, like, he must be so, like, as a professional footballer, you must really struggle to follow him on the field. His heat map is ridiculous when he plays in the game because he's all over the place. He's so good at, well, when he intercepts the ball and then he doesn't know if you're going to turn and drive at the defense or just cut back or cut inside. And he really offers us that threat. And that's really good. And we saw the better of Lucas Paqueta, which is good. It gave away one ball in the middle of the park. But all round, it was a really good performance. Comfortable in defense. We're talking about a good Freiburg team as well. A team that have got a bit of respect stamped on their name in the Europa League, like, and in Europe, like, they do have a lot of respect as well. But yeah, for me, a couple of players that stood out were Kudus and Alvarez. I mean, what was really interesting was when Alvarez came off the field for the substitution, they made a substitution, brought on a player called Roll, and we really kind of lost that nippy, player that was nipping in interventions. We weren't really in trouble. I'm not going to lie to you. We were never really in trouble in the game. We dominated the game. We carried the game really well. But Alvarez really offers us that threat, and it shows you how much you miss him when he doesn't play. Really, really effective player. They're just interviewing Alvarez and Kudos just now. But Kudos played 88 minutes with 1 goal and 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target. He had 69 touches with an accurate pass rate of 94%. His long ball accuracy was 100%, and he won a quarter of his ground duels. He never lost possession a lot of times. He was fouled a lot. But he'd come in and he comes back and he does all his defensive duties, which is what you can always ask for. But he's just such a clever footballer. He knows how to drop the shoulder. He knows how to win balls back. He knows how to bring a dynamic approach to West Ham's attack going forward. He's been a phenomenal player for us since he's joined the club. Really has been one of the signs of the summer. But another player I want to talk to you about, like I said, is Alvarez. Really effective. 54 minutes, pulled him off because we needed to do that. It made sense pulling him off. He got 1 goal, and it was a great goal from him with a great ball through the middle of the park. Alvarez assisting a goal and scoring a goal tonight. which is what you want from your kind of midfield general as well. 52 touches, 93% pass accuracy, one key pass, obviously, one accurate long ball, 100% with his long balls. He won all of his aerial duels, only lost possession 6 times, one clearance, one block shot, one interception, 2 tackles. Very, very good performance from Edson Alvarez today. But anyway, all round, I'm delighted with it. Really am. I mean, there's not really a huge amount you can say about it. Hold on a second, little man. So let me just have a look here. Vinay says, great result. Alvarez is hobbling. I did see that there. So hopefully it's a precaution. Chris says, West Ham, great win. What a start to Christmas. Freiburg, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what. We didn't just do it. We dominated. I wouldn't necessarily say that was a massively tough game for West Ham. Really surprised about that. But yeah, good game. At top of the group, sorted, job done. Could have been quite a few if we had gone for it and put a professional performance. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? At the end of the day, we can't take these teams lightly, and we've got the job done. But it's a fantastic performance from Kudus and Alvarez. Comfortable win, never in trouble. Great display by the team. It was an all-round fantastic performance. Even Fabianski coming out, being dominating in defence, and then firing the ball out very quickly, starting those kind of quick pushing ball forwards. So really, really impressed with the all-round team performance there today. Let me just have a look here and see what's happening. 2 seconds. Where are we? Right, so better than expected. Love to see Cornet and Tilo get more minutes, absolutely. If we can get a new striker and we could go all the way. Europe is a slower game. With all due respect, though, old Manang, you're coming up against really reputable European competition, and we can't take this team lightly. And do you know what? I've seen a lot of people say prior to this game, this is going to be one of the toughest games, and this is going to be the pressure on Moyes. And I don't think Freiburg are going to be easy, but we've turned them over, and we've turned them over convincingly. That's what we've got to give credit for as well. Alan Dunn says, what a game. The first half with Alvarez was fantastic to watch. Why can't we do that every game? I suppose that's the question we can ask ourselves week in and week out, 100%. Let me just check something before we get Russ on. Hopefully I can get my little man to bed. Remember the caliber of opposition. I mean, I don't know what to really. I mean, are you underestimating the opposition? Because I'm certainly not. I'm not. I think they're a reputable team. But equally, though, how many more times are we going to say things like, let's remember the opposition? Because last year, a lot of people, not a lot, some people are saying things like it's a tin pot competition. Well, with all due respect, you need to beat what's in front of you, and that's all you can do. So, not for me. We got that performance. Come on, your hands from Michael. Why put Ings on? I take Mbama's normal strike partner on the bench and put them on together. No point to Ings at all. Great performance from the lads. We've got a great squad. Mandy says, I guess after paying all that money for him, Sully wants to see him play now and then. Yeah, to be honest with you, I can see Ings heading out the door. Come the window, he didn't really offer us anything at all. In the park. Hey, just saying, half a decent striker that could link up with our attacking players, we would rock. They were awesome. Good result and great performance. Nanji G. Alvarez was hobbling after 30 minutes. Took an knock. Hope it's nothing. They weren't great, but to be honest with you, 2 up and 2 down, I definitely think we handled them no problem at all. Was it JW? And that's the thing as well. We have to respect the performance from West Ham in terms of like how we held our own against them. You know, we had nearly 60% possession, which is very kind of not like West Ham, really, to be honest. Empty Seats United only here in Freiburg fans. Listen, with all due respect, you know, when you play European opposition, the fans are absolutely mental. It doesn't matter what team. I was there for Rapid Vienna. I was there for some of the other games, and their fans are just mental. They just turn up in thousands. 54% possession, over 600 passes with nearly 578 success pass rate. It goes to show how we can dominate games, so we can't have to sit back all the time. Absolutely. Freddie, come here. Night. Come say good night to everyone and say, come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Good boy. See you in the morning. Good boy. There you go. Freddie got to see another West Ham win. Good man. He said he'd been a very successful West Ham fan in his young age. Freiburgers will struggle without Alvarez. Isn't it funny how quickly you become so like like needy towards a midfield player, because that's exactly what he is. Fabianski was fabulous, clean sheet, absolutely well done to him. Great result. Troj passed it much better tonight. Old man Freiburg did a West Ham and offered very little going forward. Any team does goes at us, then we struggle, but we're happy we won us 2 games less. What I will say is, as much as you're saying that, we didn't play so deep defensively, and we played such a dynamic game. Like the free flowing passes in that game were very, very good from West Ham. And what was quality about it was when we were passing the ball, the player was moving into space. And something I find this season in particular, even in the Premier League last season, was we were quite static in some of our advancing roles and positions. And what you need is like Suchek has got a new lease of life at West Ham. Unbelievable new lease of life. Like he looks like he's absolutely loving his time in a West Ham shirt. Let me give you his stats. Interestingly, he played the whole game, 77 touches, 93% pass succession. He was accurate with 5 from 6 attempts at long balls. You know, that's a great stat for Tommy Suchek. He won all of his ground duels. He won all of his aerial duels. He had 1 shot off target. He had 5 interceptions in the game as well. And he was influential in both halves for us. And they were very good goals, Trosh. They absolutely were. At least we are doing our bit for the rest of the English teams, even in second gear. All over team says it at Tim Pot, but if they win, then it's the big cup. Mad at it. It's mad. I don't get it. But anyway, each to their own. If Alvarez is injured, we are screwed though. Let's hope he's not. Come on, you Irons. Join playing different teams like Freiburg. As much as we're talking about Alvarez being injured, at least they went over and walked over and done the interview. I don't know if he would have done that because he would have opened himself up for criticism if he potentially was injured as well, and then they could have asked him the questions, but that's not happened. A cardboard cutout would have had the same effect as bringing on Ings. That's the only thing I can really. I don't want to be so slagging off any of our players, but Ings just he doesn't offer us anything, and he's not offered us anything at all, and he didn't offer us anything tonight. It was a bit of a pointless. I suppose I get it because he wants to give him some game time, and I tell you what, if he is heading out the door in the window, then maybe it's a chance to say goodbye. Whatever, I don't know, but. Can we recall Downs mid-season from his loan spell? I don't see it, mate. I don't see it. And I don't know what the full deal is. It's interesting. Maybe we need to look into that. But yeah, I'm satisfied with this win. How good was JWP? He was killing it. He was phenomenal today. He really, really was. In actual fact, the three players in the middle of the park protecting us and getting forward, Tommy Suchek, Alvarez, and of course, James Ward-Prowse were very, very good, offering us a threat all game long. And that was what was really, just it was a really good all-round performance from absolutely everyone. And I'm just looking at the Group A, and I still can't get my head around that we've won 5, lost 1, with a goal difference of +6, but qualifying as group leaders. It's just what an achievement, what an absolutely unbelievable achievement it is. Now, listen, we've been waiting for him, and he's taken his time to get himself out of the stadium, but let's bring him on. DJ Rusty. DJ Rusty, buzzing, mate.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, sorry it took forever. The Freiburg fans are still in there singing. Hilarious. I put another short up. They were singing Last Christmas. Fair play to them. Honestly, I'll put it up on the short in a minute. Fair play to them.
Yeah. We were talking in here, and we're talking about the away fans in Europe. And I was saying it doesn't matter who we've played, Russ. Like, Rapid Vienna. Like, it doesn't matter who we play. They turn up in their thousands. Viborg.
Amazing.
Yeah, the fans are just unbelievable. But listen, mate, Alvarez, what a performance from him tonight.
Considering he's just come back from that illness, it was awesome. It was awesome today. I was surprised. He came out second half, to be honest, because he looked like he had obviously had an injury. I was surprised he came out second half, but he did. Hopefully not too serious with what he went off with an injury. But he walked back on the pitch at the end of the game, so he was doing the interviews post-match. So I don't think it was too serious. But yeah, great performance, great goal. What a lovely goal.
Russ, another thing to consider is the fact that we've just finished top of our group 3 consecutive seasons as winners of the European group. I mean, nothing to be smirked at. What an achievement. Do you know what? I don't care about any of the stuff. Just I really don't, because what an achievement that is, mate.
Yeah,
You know, 2
totally
Europa
right.
League campaigns and 1 Conference League. That's something we've got to be
Yes.
massively proud of.
Totally. I mean, that's the 3rd year running we've finished. We're in Europe longer than Man United, 3rd year in succession. So it's a great achievement. And arguably, this is probably our toughest group that we've had in the 3 groups, in all honesty. But Freiburg really surprised me. I thought they'd really come and have a go.
Oh, Ross, you've got people behind you.
I got some prick. I ain't got my mic on me. It's been pricked. No, I was really surprised. I thought Freiburg would really come out like the traps. They didn't. Yes, they didn't today at all. It was almost like they were happy for the draw, or happy to just be there. You know what I mean? It's like I really thought they were going to come and really have a go at us.
So
they didn't.
So on that, do you think that was? I mean, every performance that we play, when a team doesn't come at us, that doesn't mean a team doesn't come at you. And I'm not slagging you off. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't always mean that. What I did notice from the off was that we didn't play deep. We didn't play in the deep. We played that press.
Yeah.
And that's I suppose, the confusion between the fans, and that's where the argument kicks in, because we've seen it in our own chat. Why do we not play like that sometimes in a game that we expect it? Because we play high press. I mean, I'm looking at our goal just now, right? Our first goal, and Joe Cole's doing the commentary, and of course, friend of the channel. If you haven't, go and check out his interview with us as well. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players in the final third of the attack. And Freiburg have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players behind the ball. Because West Ham are playing that high press, they've left one man far up the field. They've done a typical West Ham low block.
Yeah.
Freiburg have come to West Ham and done a low block, but equally though, I don't really know if they have. I think we've pressed them, because Russ, tonight, what I loved about the game tonight was it was all the passing, interlinking passing. So Alvarez would pass to Paqueta, Alvarez would move into space. He would click the ball back. Paqueta would move into space. Kudos would get the ball. He'd move into space. And James Ward-Prowse and Souček were fucking loving life under that football style tonight.
It's no surprise you put JWP in a 10 role, and he looks a completely different player. He looked, when Alvarez came off, he had to sort of drop back a little bit. He didn't look as effective. But when he was there playing as a 10, sometimes he was playing the second striker. And he has a lot more time on the ball, and that's what he's good at. The interplay was nice. And then obviously going up, 2 up by half time, the Paqueta's tricks were coming off, sometimes overplays the ball like he always does. There was one point in the second half where I think him and Kudus had about 30 passes between them in about 2 minutes. They just kept on passing it. It just couldn't, and no one was going towards them.
They were building up their passing rate, definitely. They were just going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. It takes two to tango. And I thought, I was a bit worried for today, I'll be honest. I thought, Freiburg in good form. We've just been knocked by 5 against Fulham. We've got to sit this bug and all that type of stuff. It was set up for us to have lost that game today. And we didn't for once. And we actually had I can't remember the last time we've had a comfortable win like that.
Yeah.
It was comfortable.
Yeah. Talk to me about the importance of Emerson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, he makes it all tick on the left-hand side, doesn't he? He makes it all tick on the left-hand side. He's crucial. They're still in there. They're still in the stadium. He's brilliant. He really makes us tick on that left-hand side. The right-hand side, we're okay. Even without, if Bowen goes onto the right with Soufal, sort of overlapping, or Kudus and Soufal overlapping, that left-hand side, when he's not there, the fact is, him and Alvarez, they're 2, I'd say, almost indispensable players in our squad. If they're not playing, we miss something. We miss something, some bite in midfield, and we miss an outlet on the left-hand side. I don't know if he was watching it, but to be honest, it was almost like Soufal was almost playing like a Pep Guardiola fullback. He was in midfield most of the game. He'd cut inside.
He was cutting in, and he was at one point
there.
And it was funny because I noticed it with Emerson as well. At one point, I was getting them wrong. I was like, Paqueta's on the ball, and then I was like, no, it's not. It's Emerson, and I was like, what's going on? Because Paqueta's actually switched with him and sometimes Sefao was doing it. Mate, the long range passing from Souček tonight.
He was exceptional. I thought Souček was tonight.
Yeah.
From offensive and defensive, I thought he was really strong. And again, things like that. When it ticks, when it clicks, it's bloody good when it clicks. It's just hasn't been too often that it's clicked like that. The players on the pitch are the same players that pretty much play all the time. And occasionally you've got the Arsenal game, I think, here, and obviously today it just clicked. And as I said, I can't remember the last time we played a game where it was comfortable. He even decided to bring and Barmer with like 25 minutes to go, and Danny Ings, even brought Cornet on. That's when we're okay. And bloody Maxwell Cornet, the lesser spotted Cornet, comes on for a 5-minute cameo. But it was just a really competent game where we didn't. I think they had one half decent shot really on target, not even on target really. Sort of coming across Fabianski, and another clean sheet for Fabianski. Skipper Fabianski. I think this season he's got 100% rating on it in terms of win rate when he's been captain. Because he was captain for the Arsenal game as well. So yeah.
It's definitely interesting. Russ, there's a lot of people we've had quite interesting conversations in the chat today about, why can't we do that in the Premier League, etc., etc. And I've heard a lot of people saying the Fulham defeat was coming. Like, I heard that quite a lot. The Fulham defeat was coming. I didn't feel that a smashing was coming. However, in football, a smashing comes and then you smash a team, and that does happen. So I didn't feel it to the level that some other people did. When we got beat by Fulham, and this is not about Fulham, do you think that was a one-off, or are we being glass half full?
We always are. We always are half glass full people. But I think the Fulham game, I'll be honest, we've been in many situations this season where the other side have been, unlucky, and it does happen that, most sides probably get 4 or 5 decent chances in the game. And that Fulham game, every chance they had, they scored. And that happens sometimes. As I said, with the Forest game last year, it was 0-0 after 70 minutes. Then we beat them 4-0. It wasn't a good day at the office. We looked knackered. We looked ill. We were ill. And maybe something like that's a bit of a kick up the arse. We've been playing, I think, some games, not waltzing, but I think some games where we have got points or got the victory. We haven't played us to our best. And maybe that Fulham game is the kick up the arse we need.
Yeah.
You never know. It was a different side here today. It was a side here that came out to do a job. They had a job to do, and they executed the plan perfectly.
No, listen, I don't like digging out players. I've never been that sort of guy, but sometimes you've got to call something what it is when you see it right staring in front of you. But listen, Danny Ings doesn't really offer us anything, really, does he? And with all due respect, I mean,
I felt so sorry for Danny, because you can see he's trying, and every time he kicks it, he's like, it's wrong, and he's like, fuck. It's like a golfer when he's having a really bad round. Doesn't matter what he does, everything he shakes. And he's in that vein of form at the moment. Everything he does, he can't touch the ball. It just, nothing happens to him. And sometimes, it hasn't worked for him. It hasn't worked for him, the move, and it's unlikely to work in the move anymore because of the way we're playing. The likes of Mbama getting more minutes over the top of him now. So, in January, if we're led to be Southampton coming for him, which is something that could happen.
Well, there is a rumour kicking about, obviously, today, and it's been around for a while. And I think, essentially, when it comes to this stage of your career, you may look at the club that you had quite possibly the most success with, etc., as well. But I think with all due respect, I would say thank you very much, but it's definitely time to move on. And I know it's not about that just now, but I mean, he really is offering us nothing. And like you said, mate, when I mentioned his name, you kind of smirked and laughed a little bit. And I'm not being horrible with that. You don't want that. As well.
He's trying.
Yeah.
He's trying. That's one thing you can say, man. The effort is there, but there's no aptitude on it. There's application on it. And you can see him trying, because he's trying so hard. And he's almost now trying too hard, it seems. And you saw Moyes, every time he kicks a ball, and he shanked it. You can see what he was trying to do. A couple of times he was trying to do crossfield balls, and you saw Moyes like try and encourage him to do it. Give him a clap, but it just didn't work for him.
Yeah.
And sometimes the move don't work, does it?
Yeah.
Same as with a job. Sometimes you move to a wrong job.
Yeah.
And it don't work.
Yep, absolutely. Trosh says great result, passed it much better tonight. Absolutely. Drain Hole Hammer says at least we're doing a bit for the English teams, even in second gear. We've got a tough game against Wolves coming up on Sunday. We do, but a good way to prepare for it is by getting this under our belt and getting the, shaking off the Fulham loss. That was the key part, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Let me have a so here. I mean, listen, kudos. I mean, it'll be hard to hold on to kudos in the summer. I don't. What?
I think if we don't get European football in the summer next season, I think we may well struggle a little bit, depending about who the new manager comes in.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, but he's a phenomenal footballer, isn't he?
Oh, he's just so strong.
Yeah,
so strong.
I mean, you can't picture the West Ham team without a kudos now, can you? But you can see why. You just had to go and get it done. And remember, at the time, obviously, when we do the shows that we do and we talk about players coming in, the concern really was like, oh shit, are we going to lose him at the last minute?
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we got it over the line. And when you seen that picture of him and Tim on the plane, oh my days. Yeah. Oh my days.
I mean, he's a special player. There's no denying he's a very special player. And he gives us a real different, whereas someone like Jared is, he's like, he just keeps going. He's like a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
Kudus is like a terrier, and he's like, he'll be 5 yards behind a defender. Defender has the ball, he's right on him. And you can see that as Moyes kept him encouraging him to do it on the sideline, chase down those fullbacks. And that's the key. Yeah. That really is the key. The amount of turnovers we got today from just chasing down the ball, was fantastic today.
I'm just listening to Moisey, and they're just saying, listen, we knew they would try and come back into it in the second game. They had nothing to lose. But
I don't think they really did, I'll be honest. I think we pretty much controlled that whole game. I was really disappointed in Freiburg. I really thought, they were going to come here and put it on us the first 10 minutes. And they let us do it, and that first half, it was like they were trying to defend the lead, not us. Really surprised me. But their fans were phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant, their fans were. Fair play to them.
Sorry, I'm just listening to Moyes now, and he's talking about the only loss we've had in about 20-odd games has been Olympiacos. The women's just said to him there, and the presenters said to him, what's it like qualifying top of the group 3 seasons in a row? I mean, you've got to think about that, Russ. Like, we've played European football for 3 seasons in a row, and we've been beaten twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
One of them is in the semi-final. Yeah.
Frankfurt and Olympiacos.
Yeah. If Vlasic had put that ball in rather than straight at the keeper, it would have been the final.
Yep.
So,
and if Bowen had put that ball in the back of the net. Other than Corney and Ings and Souček, all couldn't trap a bag of cement. The rest were superb. Whoever brought Ings in should reimburse the club. Best game for the last of the months. Could be years. Kudos. Wow. And listen, a player that's gone under the radar tonight, but probably one of the most influential players, was Jared Bowen.
Yeah.
Mate, he's so important, and he is. I can't believe we've signed him down to a 7-year contract.
Well, we've done it just before they changed the rules, didn't they? So he was the last. I think that's going to be a good pub question. He'll be the last person I think that's been signed on a set, unless more than a 5-year deal ever in the Premier League. So I mean, he is basically, and what I like about Jared is just his work rate, and he really doesn't stop, and he just picks these gaps all the time. Unlucky with his goal. Well, not it was clearly offside, but you could see that was a plan today. You saw, cutting through the midfield, players running behind the defence, balls over the top. Kadu scored, and it worked. Bowen had a goal disallowed, and obviously that fantastic bit of interplay with Alvarez. But you can see the game plan for once today for a change, and and what was great was we could rest the likes of Paqueta. He got 60 minutes. He came off, and Bowen came off with half an hour to go. And as long as Alvarez is okay, which I think he looks all right, he's got a knock, but I think he'll be all right for Sunday. Then it puts us in good stead. You know,
I just want to quickly mention the fact that the Europa League group winners, Brighton, were group winners tonight. Liverpool have been group winners. Rangers were also group winners, and West Ham were group winners as well. So the 8 group winners in the Europa League were West Ham, Liverpool, Brighton, Villarreal, Rangers, Slavia Prague, Atalanta, and Bayer Leverkusen as well. So there
that's
you
great.
go.
That's great. That's great for the 5th spot now in the Champions League. Now, because obviously we get those points back now. Ironically, we won't be. You know, probably the likes of Newcastle can thank us, but they're the ones who fucked up in the first place. Anyway, we're not going to get a benefit, are we, from it, really, realistically? So,
but anyway, listen. Oh, sorry, what are you going to say, Russ?
The guys, I say, because when we win the Europa League, we'll be in the Champions League anyway, so it doesn't matter about the league.
Mate, could you imagine? Could you actually imagine? Right, everybody, there is your highlights review. We're going to go on about it all night. Why not? But Russ and us will be back over the next couple of days. We'll give you the player ratings tomorrow. We'll give you the press conference ahead of the Wolves game as well. We'll have the Advent show coming out. So make sure you go check that out. There was one today. So what you need to do is
day 15. Yeah, day 15 tomorrow. Nobby Solano tomorrow.
So what you need to do is go on to the Advent show, click, watch it, and leave a comment. And if you leave a comment, you enter our competition as well. There is an option to join the membership program. If you want to do that, click on join. You'll get entered into a membership option, and then we do a monthly draw for that as well. But if you think about the stuff we've given away this month alone, all signed gear, all the gear with all the ideas.
Yeah.
And another new sponsor coming back to you. I wouldn't say a new one. An old
friend coming back.
An old friend is returning. So we'll bring that stuff to you anyway. But listen, I know there's so many comments. Thank you very much for joining us. And the draw. Oh, there you go. So the draw is on Monday. So
that's the draw for the 32s.
That's the draw for the 32. Yeah.
Our draw's in February, but we'll be playing the ties of the 7th and the 14th of March, and obviously we'll be playing the home leg on the 14th of March. That's what we get. So we get the priority in that. So that's what's great.
Interesting point. Surreal Frame says Antonio's going to be an Impact sub from now on, I reckon.
Definitely agree.
Interesting point.
Definitely agree. Yeah, back in the first team.
If you are new around here, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and of course, from me and Russ, live from the London Stadium, Russ, come on, you wonderful and amazing Irons. Come on,
Champions of Europe, we know what we are.